Hello, here's how to play Star Citizen. You wake up in your bed. You hold F to interact with stuff. Open the door. If you press F1, you bring up your menu. This gives you overall information, comlink, you can chat to your friends, you can invite people to groups, and you can also chat to air traffic control. Vehicle loadout is your weapons for on your ship, which you can change when you're docked, I think. Knickknacks is where your items are stored, so if you leave your items somewhere, you can see where they are. For example, I have some stuff here. I have my helmet at this particular station. Skyline is your map. Ammo trade is where you can send money to other people. Contract manager is where you get your missions. Bounty hunter is the legal killing missions. Mercenary, I think, is the illegal killing missions. Delivery, just you take a box from somewhere to somewhere else. Search and research I haven't really done, and maintenance I haven't really done either. Personal is more of like the story missions. Vehicle maintenance services, you can refuel, restock, and repair your ships when you're in a ship in the dock. Journals, I have no idea what this does. Delphi is your ranking system, so for example, if I do more bounty hunter guild things, I get higher ranking bounty hunter, and therefore I get more difficult missions, and I get more money for them. That's that menu. That you bring that up by F1. If you you can go straight into the map menu by pressing F2, and I can actually set a route if I was in my ship by clicking on something, but I'll go over that in a second. Very important, F12 to get rid of the chat. Who cares what people are saying? We don't need to know it. Let's go follow this guy. And I'll show you how to use the shop. So again, F to interact with things, open doors, etc. Here's a shop. You can physically pick up the items that you want to buy. For example, if I wanted this helmet, I can look at this helmet, I can click buy. If I wanted one of these guns, I can click at the gun, I can click buy, I can also inspect it. Don't forget to pick up the magazines. Each magazine is unique to a weapon, so make sure that you have both the gun and the weapon when you purchase it. Probably the most easy interaction mode to buy stuff is the tablet. So the tablets will be in every store, and I can quick buy from here. So for example, if I wanted an S38, I can go here, buy the pistol, buy the magazines, I can buy them in bulk, I can get 10 magazines, so let's just do that now. Quick buy.
Why can't
and I'm going
anyone put
to
things
press
back
buy
when
for
they
this one because I
found
want
them?
10.
It's not my job to pick up after you.
Done. Now, very importantly, I press I to go into my inventory, and I check where those went. So you can see that they've gone in my local inventory. That means that if I leave Grim Hex, where I currently am, the gun and the magazines will stay there. So in order to stop that from happening, I would either need to put them on my person. So for example, I can drag the gun on my side, so now I have the gun physically on me, and then I can have one magazine in the chamber, but you can see I can't actually carry any magazines on my flight suit, which is where the armor comes in handy. So let's just say that I wanted to buy this. That's actually the undersuit, so we don't want that, we want the armor. So the armor is over here. So we buy that. And why not? Let's grab the backpack as well while we're here. And then if I press I again, I can put that armor on, I can put my backpack on, and now I can see that you have a backpack, so I can actually put the rest of the magazines in the backpack. And now I can actually strap some of the magazines to my body, which means that I can actually use those magazines in combat. Don't need my medical gown, so let's just leave that here. So let's go get a ship. Most of the time, the shops will be on a different level to where these ships are. So more often than not, you're going to have to get a elevator, or in the cases of the cities, a train to the location where the ships are stored. So I'm just going to call this elevator now. And then we will request to go to the lobby, which is up, which is where the ships are. The elevators are physicalized in the game world, they're not loading screens. So that can sometimes cause issues, sometimes not. Let's go quickly have a look at the medical options. So if you do want to set your respawn point, you can go to a medical place. This is pretty run down because this is the pirate station. But you would go here, you would find the screen that says regeneration, and you can set the regeneration point to whatever station that you're at. If you want to buy medical stuff, there's also a kiosk over here somewhere. The pharmacy kiosk, that's where you buy your medical items, so you can heal yourself and all that stuff. And if you are actually damaged, you can also do a patient check-in and then you can get healed. Those are sort of 3 functions of the medical area. Now let's go get a ship. Look for one that isn't in use. You can see someone's using that one, so let's go over to this one, touch to start, so that means it's not in use.
The ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
And I'm going to get my ship. So I have a bunch of ships, they're all in different locations, which means that I would have to claim them. So if, for example, if I wanted my large ship, I would have to file a claim, and then 13 real minutes would pass before I can actually request that ship to be sent to the dock. I can actually pay to reduce that time to 4 minutes, but I'm not going to do that right now. Let's just get the ship that's actually in this location, which is my mining ship. So here we go, we're in Grimhex. It's here, it's stored, we can retrieve it straight away. It's going to tell me what hangar the ship is going to go to.
Your vehicle has
Hangar 01, cool. There's also a HUD element that tells me which hangar it is. So we're going to go over to an elevator, we're going to go to hangar 1. And here's our ship. Every ship has a different way to get into it. This ship does it has a tiny little area in it. It's not just a cockpit ship. If it's just a cockpit ship, you just climb straight into the cockpit. This is a bit of a flight deck ship, but it is still a relatively small ship. So I'm going to interact with that, get the ladder. And you can see we have a bed here. So the bed can be used to log out. If a ship has a bed, that means you can log out in the ship, which means that when you log back in, you'll come back into your ship wherever it's parked, or just floating in the air. The toilet is non-functional, and I will go to my flight seat. I'll go press F, enter the pilot seat, jump in, and now we actually have to look around to see how we turn the ship on. So I think it's up here. So we have a few options, but flight ready, just make sure that everything's on and ready to go. So the ship is on now. You can press F4 to do an external view. You can hold Z to spin around with your mouse. If you don't hold Z, be careful because you will actually change the trajectory of the ship. Press F4 again to go back into the normal view. To get the hangar doors open, we need to contact the air traffic controller. So if we look very quickly here on the left hand side, we have different modes like landing gear, coupled, etc., which I won't go into. We have our speed and maximum thrust, which I will go into in a second. We have our altitude. We have our weapons over here. We have our fuel. Hydrogen is for just non-quantum travel. Quantum fuel is for quantum travel. And we have our countermeasures over here. Looking over here, we have our power division, so we can actually click on that to divert power to different systems. We can also use F5, F6, F7, and F8 to divert those power as well. We have our how visible we are on radar, for example, heat, electromagnetic, and infrared signals. On the other side here, we have systems, which I don't really use that often. And we have shields, which are over here. We have a target system here, which I'm just going to use to go to the comms, so I can actually see the landing services, and I'll press this to contact landing services to get them to open the door for us. Over here we have our damage, so we can see our damage and our shields. Okay, the door is opening for us. So when you're flying, you use WASD to strafe, you use Q and E to roll, you use spacebar to go up, and you use control to go down. And what you want to do is, see this little box over here? This controls our maximum thrust. When we're in close proximity to things, we don't want to be going at the thrust level, the maximum thrust level, because you will just go straight into the roof or whatever. So let's roll the mouse wheel back down to control that maximum thrust to make sure that we're not taking off too quickly. So now that we're at maximum, minimum thrust or close to minimum thrust, let's hold spacebar to take off. You can see that the it's taken off pretty quickly, even though we're at sort of like a minimum thrust. And now that we are in the air, we can press shortcut is N to put the landing gear up. Sometimes a ship will have an actual physical switch that you might be able to use, but N puts the landing gear up. And you can see that happening now. And now we're going to go forward. You can see this is the maximum speed that we're going forward because we have that throttle set back. So as we get clear of the hangar, we can sort of aim it over here that isn't near an asteroid. And now I'm going to roll the mouse wheel up to increase my pitch, my thrust. And then we can press C to keep that thrust at that level. So now that I'm not pressing W, it's just going forward. And I can increase the speed by rolling my mouse wheel forward. I can decrease the speed by rolling my mouse wheel back. On the right-hand side here, the left-hand side here rather, you can see the maximum thrust. Because we're in space, we don't need thrust to keep going because it's a vacuum. But you do need thrust to keep going in atmosphere. That's pretty much it. Now your next steps would be to go into the contract manager, pick a bounty contract, click accept. So let's just do that now. Let's just click this, find and apprehend this person, cool. Or press F1 again. I'll press F2 to just open the map up. We can see the last known position of the target here. To use the map, double click on the area that you want to look at. So we'll double click there. Now we're in this system. We want to double click again on this, zoom out a bit so we can see where we're going. And then we want to click set route, which will set the quantum travel route to the destination location. If that doesn't work, if set route doesn't work, try to quantum travel to a nearby location and then try again. It's a bit buggy like that. So let's now set up quantum travel. So to set up quantum travel mode, we'll press B to engage quantum travel. We'll then align with the location. You'll see two alignment things happening right now. The spool of the quantum, which is on the top, and the calibration of the quantum, which is on the left. Once both are ready, you hold B to initiate the quantum jump, and then we'll start. I'm actually traveling a long time here, so I'm going to stop the recording, but that's pretty much how to get started in Star Citizen.